Henry, to you first. Is this a sticking plaster on a very large gaping wound?
Yes, Andrew, it is. And it's not a very effective sticking plaster either, I would say. If you don't stop the flow, you are always going to have to firefight with trying to find accommodation for people. And, the Home Office seems to be putting just about all its eggs into one basket here. Provide sort of austere accommodation, change the law, and people will stop coming. Well, it's not like that. Anybody who has dealt with people smuggling out in the field operationally, dealt with the organised crime groups, dealt with people being smuggled, then you know that this is not going to provide a deterrent. So we are going to continue having this problem. There is no strategy, and as you rightly said at the very beginning of this, the House of Lords now has buckled, so the immigration bill will go through. The Archbishop of Canterbury has been criticised for some of his stance on this, and I understand why. But one thing that he did say that I agree totally with him on, that there is no strategy. This is constant firefighting. The Home Office and the government have to get ahead of the game. They need to think strategically. They need to think internationally, regionally, nationally, and they need to get some cohesion to this. And remember, and I always remind people of this, it's not just people crossing our borders. All of the cocaine and all of the heroin in this country and all of the criminality and health issues that feeds into all come across our borders. They too are indicators of a failed system for managing and securing our borders.
Ivan, if I can bring you in, can you just remind us why and when the numbers of people trying to get here illegally started to tick up? Because we've always had conflict zones, we've always had countries from which people wish to flee. Why are we seeing it so prominently now in such big numbers?
Well, they've been doubling over the last few years, and the current backlog we have of asylum applications is 173,000. We can expect about 100,000 migrants crossing the Channel this year alone. And the reason that we have this bottleneck is because of the failure of the Home Office to consider efficiently and quickly asylum applications. Look, there's the initial grant rate for countries like Syria, Eritrea, Iran, Afghanistan is high. It's in the 90%. I mean, there should be a fast-track system for considering those applications.
Sorry to interrupt you. So I understand why there's the bottleneck that isn't getting cleared quick enough. And I think regardless of which side of this debate you're on, we all agree that's something that should be fixed. But why have the numbers doubled, as you say? Why are people now feeling that they can come across and do so successfully?
Well, there's greater conflict around the world, and that's what's led to the increase in numbers. So the conflicts that you have around the world in countries fleeing from countries like Syria has exponentially risen. And that's the reason we've got greater numbers. There's more people fleeing persecution. That's just a global problem we have due to international conflicts and instability of certain countries.
Henry, if I could bring you in this, I want to put a different perspective on that to what Ivan's just said. Isn't one of the reasons so many people are heading for Britain is because they perceive that we are a soft touch, that they'll arrive here, they won't be deported, they can stay here for years, they may disappear into the system, they may disappear into the black economy?
I think that's undoubtedly part of it, Andrew, undoubtedly. Ivan's obviously correct in what he says, but there's no one reason for all of this. And what you say is absolutely correct. Somebody comes across, they're reasonably looked after, they're in a hotel. The message goes back. Of course, they're calling their friends and their families abroad, and they're saying, well, actually, it wasn't too bad. Here I am, and this is what's happening now. That message gets through. That is part of it. But there's another thing that that concerns me greatly. These numbers are going to increase if only because the population of Africa is going to be an additional 1.7 billion by 2050. Now, that's the UN saying that, the UN Population Fund. Now, we've got to get ahead of the game because those people, I think we can assume fairly safely that unless somebody intervenes, the countries of Africa are going to struggle to support that sort of population, or many of them are. And they are not going to move to China or North America. If there is an exodus from Africa because of there's not enough resources, governance problems break down, then those people are going to move along established routes to southern Europe, across the Mediterranean to southern Europe, and many of those are going to head our way. This is a major problem, and if the government doesn't get it, and other governments don't get ahead of it, then we haven't seen anything yet.
Ivor, Henry's right, isn't he? Just respond to that bleak prognosis.
It's not true.
Of the future.
Look, the assertion that people are making a beeline for the UK because we're an easy touch is simply not true. If you look at the data on where we are in the European Union alone, we're 17th on the list of number of asylum seekers here. Germany take far, far more greater than we do. So do France, and that's per area. So it's simply not true. The biggest pull factor, people coming to the UK, in my experience over 25 years, is they've got family here. That's the reason people come to the UK, and that will not stop. No policy, no deterrent is going to stop people joining family members in the UK. They simply will not work. We need to have safe legal routes. We need to allow family members to sponsor people, their families to come. We need to allow people to work when they get here so they can support themselves. I mean, people are happy to work. The government doesn't allow them to.
But Ivan, you're omitting the fact that they're coming here from France, which is a safe country. They're coming here, I repeat, because we are a soft touch. They'll get benefits. They'll be put up in hotels. They might now have to endure the hardship of a boat in Portland Harbour, which is rather pretty from where I'm sitting, because they know they will never get sent back. They'll never be deported, which is why they're coming here in such large numbers. And a lot of them are economic migrants too.
Well, that's a problem,
and they've got big families.
Problem for the Home Office. They should have system. Look, we can deport people. We can remove those people who are not genuine asylum seekers. Why is the government not doing that? Why is the government not removing, say, Albanians, for example? They can fast track them out in 2 weeks. But the problem with the Home Office, they don't have the systems, the people and processes to do that. And it's all about blaming everyone but the Home Office. Blame the asylum seekers. Blame lefty lawyers like me. Simply not true.
Ivan is correct there. Entirely. You can't just simply keep changing the law and changing your promises to the British people without having a strategy, a plan and resourcing it correctly. The resourcing, these barges are going to cost 1.6 billion for 3 barges. Now, you know, the resources are not going into dealing with the structural and systemic problems. They're going into firefighting. And that's a huge concern. It's got to be.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand, gentlemen, why the Home Office is incapable of processing these applications. Is it because the migrants crossing here have slung their papers over the side of the dinghy or the boat, or is it because they're lying about where they're coming from? Because why can't they simply process them, work it out, and deport them if they're not genuine?
I can answer that. Look, I had a client interviewed yesterday. And the Home Office made this client go through this interview when he's working for the UN. He's a national of a country which is he had a passport, and yet they went through an interview trying to assess where he's from. They're using templates. They're not using properly qualified, trained individuals to assess these claims. And this client of mine went through this process of being questioned on whether he was a national of the country he's claiming to. When he works from the UN, he's provided evidence for that. Total waste of time. And that took 1 year. So it took a year to get to that stage. And this could have been dealt in weeks, not 1 year.
Go on, Henry.
I thought Ivan was going to give that answer. And again, I find myself in total agreement with Ivan. You know, resourcing isn't just about money. It's about training your staff correctly. It's about giving them the right knowledge, the right equipment. Most of the people who are processing the asylum claimants at the moment have absolutely no knowledge of the places that they come from. And, you know, an Albanian, somebody can speak Albanian to you, and they might be from the Republic of Albania itself. They might be from the Republic of Northern Macedonia. They might be from Kosovo. They might be from southern Serbia. You have to be able to understand these things. And if we are not giving people the correct training, then we're on a hiding to nothing. It's rather like policing. The Conservative government cut policing by 21,000. OK, they're replacing 20,000. So, you know, there are all sorts of issues around that, but that's a different topic. But they did much the same thing with the immigration and asylum system. They have cut back. They've outsourced more. They've cut the budget for training and so on. So there's a raft of problems here that it's simply bad planning.
OK,
right.
Thank you both.
Well,
Border Control expert Henry Bolton and immigration lawyer Ivan Sampson.
And I didn't expect those two to agree quite so much, actually.